The heroin epidemic in Tippecanoe County is growing, and many are coming together to find ways to solve it.
Well, last night we told you about how the drug is affecting families, and tonight News 18's Kayla Sullivan joins us to talk about the ways that the community is being able to help. Kayla, what can you tell us?
Yes, tonight News 18 explores what the county is already doing, looking into doing, and hoping others do in order to end this heroin epidemic. And although addiction services are lacking in the county, that doesn't mean they don't exist. Tippecanoe County Prosecutor Patrick Harrington says the state is expecting millions of dollars in grant money for treatment services very soon. But he says rehabilitation services alone won't solve the problem.
Heroin is the hardest drug to overcome. The best treatment is to never start.
Tippecanoe County Prosecutor Patrick Harrington says the first mountain to climb is getting the destructive nature of this drug out in the open.
We need to get out and educate children at all levels now in the schools that this heroin issue is a life sentence or it's a death sentence.
And for those who have entered the life sentence of heroin, addiction services are much needed but not easily available in Tippecanoe County.
For the lack of treatment, sometimes this sounds maybe tough, but the individual sometimes sitting in a jail cell may be the best form of treatment for them for a while because they can't get back to it.
Especially with programs like community navigators in the Tippecanoe County Jail. Sheriff Barry Richard began the volunteer program in June. It offers both practical and spiritual support for inmates with addiction or any other mental illness. Bill Sebald has volunteered as one of the mentors in the program. He's a pastor and spiritually helps addicts with their addiction. He's even taken some of them in to stay with him after they're released from jail.
There used to be all kinds of halfway houses, and there still are some programs, but the need is greater than the opportunities right now.
He encourages the community to help with this issue, whether it's donating money, taking someone in, or offering recovering addicts a job.
Don't, immediately say, well, I'm never going to hire somebody who's got a record as a drug addict. I would humbly suggest that that's really not fair. And I'm not saying to those people, I'm saying to you, because if you live your life believing that these people have blown it and it's too risky, I think you'd be missing out on some of the best help that's out there.
Giving addicts purpose is exactly what recovering heroin addict Kurt Howard says would keep him from going back to the drug and committing more crimes.
I keep myself busy. I don't have time to, hang out with old friends.
Harrington says it's those so-called friends that get people into this mess.
What has always amazed me is when you talk to a person who is using illegal drugs, how did you get started? My friends. Okay, when you were in jail, did your friends come and visit you? No, I haven't heard from them. Did your friends give you any money for your books in the commissary so you can buy extra things at the jail? No. Who's coming to see you? My parents.
That's the message Harrington hopes to get out to the community, especially those who will face the choice to try drugs at some point.
Because the true victims are those family members who are not the addicts, who are left with all the broken pieces, hoping for a miracle that person will recover, just not for one day, but for their entire life. But it is one day at a time.
And that's how he says the community started tackling the heroin epidemic, one day at a time. The Drug-Free Coalition of Tippecanoe County meets often with medical professionals, law enforcement, and many others in the community to discuss heroin. But Lafayette Police Chief Patrick Flannelly says more needs to be done.
If you sit back and wait for law enforcement to solve the problem, it's not going to happen. If you sit back and wait for addiction services to solve the problem, it's not going to happen. It really is going to take a community effort.
And with crime and death rates on the rise due to heroin, he says the whole community is falling victim to this drug. And it's up to you to refuse to be a victim and make a difference. Now, if you would like to get involved in helping the Community Navigators program, contact information will be attached to this story online at WLFI.com. And if you'd like to just learn more about the heroin problem in our community and how you can help, the Lafayette Police Department is hosting a Heroin and Spice public training session on November 20th. Kayla Sullivan, News 18.
Well, that's really powerful stuff. Thanks,
Really
Kayla.
is. Very